I was just going to give him some lovely quotes from Marty Jannetty off his Facebook page.
Fantastic. I'm here all day for this.
Well, he's in the next match.
So in the next match, he takes on the Intercontinental Champion, Shawn Michaels, in a battle of the former tag team specialists, the Rockers. The match they actually have is set up by one of the great angles of the period. Which
the barbershop, through the window in the barbershop.
Yeah. Now, Brutus Beefcake had an injury in a parasailing accident where a woman over the 4th of July weekend had been pulled onto a parasail. And he turned round.
Marty's dream. Getting a woman launched at him at speed.
Brutus Beefcake turned round in the sea and her knees had just driven into his face.
Yeah.
Caved it in.
Ooh.
He'd had it rebuilt. They'd brought him back because obviously he was a big star, but they weren't ever sure he was going to get back in the ring.
Right.
Of course he did. It's wrestling. No one cares. No one cares about long-term damage.
And also, like, if you come back to the ring and you take a knee to the face, you're going, well, you know, a woman did it. Like, it wasn't even trained.
What are you, some kind of fairy man? A woman going to put you out of the business? I don't think so, son. The funny thing about Brutus Beefcake was he'd always seemed very charismatic in the ring. And when they gave him his own talk show thing, he suddenly, a lot of holes, not just in his head, a lot of holes you could see.
He's just thinking, I've got it's a different job.
Hey, everybody. He was really stiff and weird.
Yeah.
Let's see what Jake the Snake is doing. I don't know whether it was just like he didn't feel like he was comfortable doing it. He just wasn't very good at it. And the barbershop ran for quite a long time.
Yeah.
But the angle between Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty is the only thing of note that ever happened in it.
Right.
So when you say barbershop, you go, oh yeah, Jannetty and Michaels split up.
Sid Vicious
and the shaving foam. I did forget that one. That's true. Both things you'll notice don't involve Brutus in any way.
No.
The classic Rockers breakup is they kind of settle their differences on the barbershop, and Michaels wearing a black leather jacket, which is very much the traditional sort of, called the white hat and the black hat. He is a black hat here, signified that he's gone rotten inside by being black on the outside. He holds up Jannetty's hand as they go, you know what, we're going to make it work.
Yeah.
And as he just takes one step away, he hits Jannetty with a super kick, and then he throws him through the plate glass window of the barbershop. Seems to me they didn't bother having like sugar glass or anything there. They just went, look, Marty, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
It's going to be real glass. It's easier for us, if that's
easier,
all right. Yeah, sure, no problem. And he goes and just comes out. He's absolutely gushing. But a classic angle that led to a sort of period where I think both of them were seen as being very small. And so while their matches were great to watch, even the crowd are a bit like, but this isn't proper.
Right.
This isn't like the Boss Man versus Bam Bam Bigelow where it's boring. These are two little people
who are good. But we don't like that. We like cartoons.
We're not here for that. I want to see Boss Man put on a backwards bear hug on Bam Bam Bigelow for 4 minutes while the two of them sweat and sit on their
heavily,
bums and go, try and get breath back, try and get back. That's wrestling. Don't know what this is, where two young fit men surprise and amaze us.
Yeah.
That's of no interest at all, really. That match is a really, really enjoyable match. And at the time was, you could say one of the best 100 matches in WWE history easily. It was just unexpectedly good. The fact that this small tag team, who had never been pushed as the champions, they did win it briefly, but they won it in a match where the second rope broke, and Vince McMahon was so angry about how it looked. He said, well, that's not airing. And they said, so are we doing it again? And he went, no. They'd never been pushed as champions, and suddenly they are fighting over the Intercontinental belt. At the time, still a very, very key title in WWE. Marty Jannetty comes out in an outfit that he'd never use again, where he looks a bit like a lamp in a 70s hotel. It's got all these sort of like white bits on it. That didn't seem to last long.
No.
The match itself, it didn't have a great deal of heat.
No, I mean, like, the preamble is, Sherry taking a mirror bump like a fucking pro.
Oh,
she absolutely rolls herself. It's fantastic.
She's one of the
worst, most aggressive thing I've seen in wrestling recently.
She's one of the people as well who only doing this has changed entirely my opinion of her. Every angle you see her in, she's great. She's great on the mic. She's really, really good at taking bumps. And she's so beautiful.
Yeah.
She's got very dry hair.
Very crisp hair.
That is easily solved, Cherry. You just need to get some advice about what shampoo to use. You want a nourishing one, but her hair is just like brittle. It's like burnt straw.
She looks like a naughty witch lady.
She does. She does.
Want to kiss.
Yeah. I was reading a little bit about that match, and both of them later said we'd both been out really late the night before, and this was not our best performance. Both of us were actually struggling. And Marty Jannetty was struggling so much that after this match, they didn't really have anything else for about 6 months or a year.
And it was because Marty Jannetty was fired the following day. The officials came back from a recording of Superstars, and Marty Jannetty had passed out unconscious on the floor just because he was so partied out. So they fired him, which is a real shame, because at this point, this is an interesting show when you get to the Royal Rumble, because what you can see is they're beginning to recalibrate again. They're going, we need a fresh start. We're between those two bits. We're between the classic golden era of the 80s and what will become known as the new generation. And this is the last hurrah of the guys from the late 80s, early 90s. There's a stat that I love so much about that match when we get to it, but it's 60% of the people who are in that Royal Rumble will not be with the company by the end of the year. That's how much they do the clean sweep.
Wow.
And it's amazing to think that if Marty Jannetty hadn't have been really fucked up, there's every chance that he would have been given quite a lot of bigger push. He would have been given a lot more leeway for the first time in his career. But look, he made his choices. He's still making those choices 30 years later.
Yeah, he's still making the same choices. Look, it's not like he would regret it, because he's doing the same thing now.
I know.
He's sort of going, look, I let myself down back then. I'm letting myself down now. So look, that's how I live my life, baby.
Tell me about Marty Jannetty's Facebook.
Marty
please.
Jannetty's Facebook profile picture is him in front of a barber shop.
Oh, right, okay.
And he's saying, I sure hope that HBK isn't here. Jesus Christ, mate.
Working.
Yeah.
Always working.
Yeah, and then his next few kind of notes are, so what happened was I'd moved to New Orleans via Pat Tanaka lie, but I finally admitted I have a problem, a sex addict. Went to a clinic there and ended up dating my sex counsellor. Pete, though, she was a pretty blonde with oversized tits, 2 T's, 3 T's. And when I walked up to her office room, her button-down blouse was unbuttoned the way down. Lol. Now, who's to blame there? It's you again.
It's
you again.
It's also you because it didn't happen.
No, it didn't happen, yeah. But Chuck Jackson, he doesn't believe that it didn't happen, because he's replied, boobs are my weakness. Even have them tattooed on the inside of my bottom lip. I can say that I always have boobs in my mouth.
Why would you say that? My God.
I don't know. Yeah, so this is a surprising little anecdote. There was one time because he calls his love interests wifeys, doesn't he? Like, it's just wifeys everywhere.
He sort of talks about having like a network of, he just goes to cities and he's got his wifeys there.
Yeah.
None of this is true.
No. There was one time we was on the road 38 days straight, and my wifey at home found out about a wifey from Green Bay. I only had sex with her twice and threatened to move out of my house. I was visibly upset because I kind of liked her. Warrior walked by and said in that screaming voice of his, "Tell her it ain't about sex, it's about growing old together." He never said much, but when he did, listen. It's about growing old together.
Oh my God, they are
queering don't make the world work.
The Marty Jannetty, I do find it fascinating, the Facebook thing, because it's almost like he's sort of, quite often he'll sort of go, had an amazing 3-day break. We had so much fun. Yikes, in so much trouble. Where's my phone?
Yeah.
And he'll put up pictures that are suggesting that they are part of that excursion. And the first one will be him with a load of men, and they'll be doing like sort of whatever that is, sort of like dog ears.
Yeah, dog ears, yeah.
Wolf ears. And they'll all be doing that. And then the next one, it'll be very clear that it's a camera, film photo.
Yes.
That he's then photographed, and it's him with a woman. But it's clearly from like the 90s. And it's a mishmash of all of these different eras through his life, that he's like, this happened last weekend. I've got to find 3 photos where I'm near a woman. Put those in. They'll never notice. Still got it. Still fucking got it. He is, the Facebook thing does not come across well. The one I saw the other night that absolutely appalled me, as I was just like scrolling down, and it's mainly my friends and Marty Jannetty. That's all I've got on Facebook. Yeah. So I'm scrolling down, and there was one where someone was like, the tomato on this burger is bigger than the burger. And I was, you just see that, and I was like,
fucking idiots.
Yeah, who's doing that? Anyway, it's Marty Jannetty, and not only is he complaining about it, he wasn't complaining. He was like, that's when you know it's a good burger. He'd made his own burger, and he'd got a big piece of tomato on it. And I was like, if you said that in a restaurant, you'd be like, the tomato's bigger than the burger? And they go, I'm so sorry. Marty Jannetty's like, that's good living.
That's how he likes it.
I really thought to myself, I'd worry for him. I keep wanting to like just sort of say, is everything all right?
Well, the thing for me is he's making it for himself because no wifeys, but he's cut through the thickest part of the tomato to make that.
Yeah.
And so what's he going to do with the rest of the tomato?
It's going to be just left on the side for months.
Because he should say, it's bigger than the burger, and I got the rest of the tomato to eat. I like tomatoes.
To me, it just
I think I like tomatoes better than the burger, personally.
Just said to me, I do not have good burgers. I've got very small burgers like Cadbury's buttons, and that's good living. It's not good living. It's not good living at all. The thing I worry about is if I sort of like said to him, "Hey, you all right, man? You know, how are you?" It'll just be like Demolition Smash, where I asked something totally innocuous, although I did do it to try and get content for the show, and then he just fucking ignores me.
Yes.
Loads of people have liked my tweet, Demolition Smash, which I purposely made so no one else could reply to it.
Yeah.
I didn't want people getting involved and going, "Yeah, you get involved, Smash. This is like Wrestle Me." People are liking it, and you can see, oh, that's popular. Oh, fuck him, though. Miserable old Demolition Smash. Oh, I said to him, you're having really a lot of fun doing Repo. You look back on that fondly? He's like, oh, fuck that.
It was 2 a.m. Right at 2 a.m., you dirty pervert.
There was a photo attached.
You look like you're having a lot of fun here. Just Demolition Smash on the end of your penis. One of those men who jizz on iPads.
Look what I've done with your action figure. Look where it's gone. You'll have to look close. Not much of it left.
You can read the main.
How much would you pay to do this in real life? What?
You're climbing my big bomb. Demolition Smash.
Here comes the axe. What? I'm now a retired man.
And you know what? If he doesn't obey me, I'm going to lock him in a car. I'm going to get him Repo Man, that is sick. That is absolutely disgusting.
But in this match at the end, Jim Ross really piles into Sherry, shouting at her, going, "You are hysterical, woman!" And she is hysterical. But I didn't care for the way that Jim Ross really goes into
Is it Jim Ross? Is it Jim Ross?
Yeah, it's Jim Ross, isn't it?
Isn't it Gorilla and Bobby?
No, Jim Ross is doing it.
Is he?
Yeah, he is. He's piling into him. No, it's not Jim Ross. It's not Jim Ross.
And he grabs her. It's Mean Gene.
It's Mean Gene. Sorry,
you're
Jim.
fucking hysterical. You're absolutely fucking woman. Yeah, he does, doesn't he? That is a key part of this match because rarely did they have this. They'd often have like, you've won.
Yeah.
And then the person would go back and celebrate. But this was the first time the WWE had shown you backstage when they have Jannetty chase after Michaels and it carries on. It was one of the first times they'd actually done that thing of going, there's legitimate bad blood between them and look, the fight continues.
Yeah.
And they started doing that with Raw and Mr. Perfect and things, and Shawn Michaels fighting outside the arena. And this is the first time on the Rumble they've done it on pay-per-view,
right,
where they begin to sort of go, actually, it isn't solved just here.
Yeah.
We are feuding. And so seeing backstage the first time is thrilling.
Yeah.
When I first saw that, I was like, this is legit.
Yeah.
This is actually,
and Sherry's screaming. And
she
it's
really
brilliant.
is. It is funny that Mean Gene is from that generation
really,
where he's just like, all I need to do is just get out of the way so I can give her a slap.
Get her some lithium.
Yeah, I'm going to slap her into consciousness, That's the only language she'll understand. That bit where the camera peels round as well, everybody in that locker room looks about 65, all wearing their sports jackets, and that's a really funny thing as well of just those old men. And I say old men, probably our age.
Yes.
Just those.
I don't know.
Miles on the road.
Marty Jannetty came flying out of nowhere to the aid of sensational Sherry, who was about to get clobbered by Shawn Michaels.
She should get clobbered for clobbering Shawn Michaels.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not kidding. She slapped him right in the face. You saw it.
Well, right the way through this show, like my favourite bits are just Gorilla and Bobby.
Oh, so good.
And at one point during the next match, Gorilla tells Bobby that he's going to have you knocked out.
Oh, it's amazing. It's better than that. Doesn't he say, I'm going to have you knocked out?
I'm going to have you knocked out.
And then there's a pause and he goes, or I'll do it myself.
Yes, like he's going to get a hit on him. He's going to get someone else involved.
Someone sort of plays around. And I think he just sort of says something along the lines of, yeah, Gorilla, you wouldn't want to get back in the ring. And he's like, I will
have you knocked out.
I will put out a hit. The immediate thing on a tiny slight. It is so funny.
If you can't stand this excitement, maybe you should get another job. Maybe collect tropical fish or something.
I'm going to have you knocked out. Or I'll do it myself.
Hey, watch the match and leave me alone.
If he'd have just said, I'll knock you out, you'll go, yeah, character. Having someone do it, that comes out too easily.
Yeah.
That comes out too easily that he's done that a load of times. It's just amazing. The more I watched Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan speak, the more I sort of go, gosh, it makes me realise that all the bridges back to the past, just how key these guys were and how it seemed like they'd be around forever. Yeah. And it just, I could well up like Heenan now. when we get put in the WWE Hall of Fame
yes,
for making their product popular again.
You fucking need it, mate.
Among jaded hipsters and stay-at-home dads. I think it'd be great for us to look up at the sky and just go, I just wish Gorilla, Monsoon and Bobby Heenan, boo!
Yeah.
Boo!
Will you stop? I'll shout.
Yeah, stop everyone!
And only one thing's missing. I wish...
Mark Haynes and Pete Donaldson from the hit podcast and YouTube channel Wrestle Me.
Who was here? Thank you.
I'm fascinated with Bobby Heenan understanding his role, and this is a role that has died. Heenan is very, very good at going, I am here to provide entertainment if the stuff in the ring is not entertaining. And so he has that, okay, this isn't working, so let us take over and earn our money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they certainly make their money work on the Bam Bam Bigelow Big Boss Man. I forget how camp Big Boss Man's theme is.
If you ever take a trip down to Cobb County, Georgia, you better read the signs, respect the law and order, use of hard times. You'll be serving hard times. You know.
I know Bam Bam Bigelow obviously very respected, but I just don't think Big Boss Man really is going to bring the best out of him.
No, what's
for
funny
10
in this
fucking minutes
is you get so Boss Man is coming to the end of his WWF run here, and what happened in '91 was Boss Man saw that there was an opportunity, and he lost a lot of weight, and he got very, very trim, and he became a big fan favourite. He really worked that. He made it happen. And I'd forgotten that by 93, the weight's creeping back on, and he's just like, I'm a lost cause. This isn't going anywhere. He does seem very, very gimmicky, and I know we're about to come to a period where the gimmicks just go nuts, and they're lazy and mad, but he suddenly seems to sort of slightly stick out of place here. He's working hard. He's a very good seller, Boss Man. He sells really well. As a big guy, he really
flips around.
He does,
like a fish.
and his head snaps back, and he'll flop onto the floor with no sort of bracing. He's really, really good. Bam Bam Bigelow, I was a huge fan of. And Bigelow has had a run in the WWE before. He's come in. His first match took place in Studio 54, which is a great little trivia thing. I really like Bigelow. I think he's one of those guys who, for whatever reason, he never had a classic run. He was always there for a couple of years, things would drop off. But what he does in this run is he will end up headlining WrestleMania. I looked at it and I was like, is he the first headliner of WrestleMania not to be in the Hall of Fame?
Right.
No. King Kong Bundy, WrestleMania 2, right? There doesn't seem to have been any reason why Bam Bam wouldn't have gone in.
No.
He seems like he was, no one is going to dispute the fact that he's there. They just don't like playing up the memory that he headlined WrestleMania, I think, because he did sort of have a career that was full of flops rather than great successes. And what's really funny is this is his first pay-per-view match back in the WWE, and it's just crap. It's really bad. He and Boss Man should have had a big, exciting big man match, and instead the crowd are just like, this is wank. And what you're seeing is you're seeing the last vestiges of that 80s absolute worship of the big man. And people are now going, actually, we enjoy watching Bret Hart wrestle. We enjoy watching Shawn Michaels wrestle. The big guys are now looking slow and like dinosaurs. So Bam Bam Bigelow has basically found himself with a new contract, really at a time when he is looking a little bit like part of the old guard.